just to our north. This storm is just impacting McLennan County, and that's why we are currently zoomed in to just McLennan County here. Again, severe thunderstorm warning is now going to, the original one was until 12:15. This new one is going until 1:15, so they just extended it out for a little over an hour here. I do anticipate likely getting a severe thunderstorm watch at some point this afternoon. I do think the National Weather Service is likely considering just waiting until more thunderstorms develop. They really like to get the area just right. They don't want to initiate or issue watches that are too large and don't happen. So you issue a big thunderstorm watch and some folks get in there and they're inside that watch and nothing really happens. And so you start to just say, well, it never happens in my area. They always issue these, and you know, people just start to get a little too relaxed, and we don't want that to happen. So I do expect a thunderstorm watch to be issued a little bit later this afternoon. They may wait another hour or two, but Central Texas will likely be in a thunderstorm watch later on. Storm Prediction Center, National Weather Service, actually talking about that right now. But no watches are out. We do have the warning for Central Texas, and you can see these hail cores moving much closer to Waco, and there we go. I just lost my connection, but I know it's still running for you there, so you guys should be able to see it just fine. I'm going to try to jump back on here. Again, okay, there we go. Yeah, it looks like the hail core is going to pass just to the north of Waco, but we do have strong winds embedded in here, so Waco, heads up. We are going to see some heavy rain and some strong winds coming in very soon. Let's go ahead and pause it right now. The strongest hail core is just to the southwest of Elmont, crossing I-35 right now. So still possibilities of golf ball size hail, quarter size hail to golf ball size hail. This storm has a history of doing that, so heads up. I hope you've moved everything indoors that you wanted to get indoors. Now it's time to just hunker down if you live around Belmead or just to the north between Elmont and Belmead. If you're to the southeast, down towards Hallsburg, if you live along Highway 6, or you live east of Waco, heads up to you. Riesel, you got some time, but this storm is coming up pretty quickly, and if you don't want your car sitting outside to get possibly beat up by this hail, go ahead and move it indoors. Now, I want to look back to the northwest. We do have that other thunderstorm, that other strong updraft to the east of Clifton, to the southwest of Laguna Park. Could be seeing some at least quarter-size hail embedded in there. That storm also continuing to the southeast. Let me zoom out for you a little bit. These are the two storms. This is the show in town right now. Though, again, all of Central Texas could see some more severe weather through the afternoon into the evening. This isn't everything. This is just the start, so to speak. But again, not everyone's going to be impacted by a severe storm, but I do expect and anticipate more thunderstorms to develop as we go deeper into the afternoon and evening hours. So again, yeah, if you can, you got some time, put your cars under cover. Let us know. Send those pictures to us. Let us know exactly what you guys are seeing out there, and if hail's falling in your area, we want to know about it. Okay, so that's the wide view right there. These are the only two storms pretty much centered in Bosque County, southeast Bosque County, and in north central McLennan County. You've also got some non-severe showers falling in the southern half of Hill County. Let's go in here and let's look at the winds a little bit. I want to look at the winds. So we're going to use DopplerNet right now. We're looking at reflectivity. And it's showing us the precipitation that's falling, the raindrops, the hailstones. We can also use DopplerNet here to show us what the winds are doing in there. While I'm on it, I'll go ahead and show you the lightning strikes. Yeah, a lot of lightning out there. So remember, if you're close enough to be struck by lightning, you are close enough to, or if you're close enough to hear thunder, excuse me, trying to work and talk here at the same time. If you're close enough to hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. So I'm going to try to find my velocity here. That's where we can look at the winds inside the storm. Let me see, should be right there. All right, let me go ahead and put this at the last 45 minutes. So also I mentioned that this storm is warned for capabilities of winds up to 65 miles per hour. Let's see, we did have a 56 mile per hour wind gust at the Waco airport just a few moments ago. So this storm is capable of producing winds 50 to 65 miles per hour. So airport there on the northwest side of town. We can zoom in and where those winds are. I know you're looking at it and you're saying it doesn't really look that intense. What I'm watching is this area right here. these are winds that are moving to the southeast. So possibility of 50 to 65 mile per hour winds embedded in there. So Waco, you've got the hail core just to the north of you, but you've got the possibility of the heavy rain and the damaging wind gusts coming through too. It looks like the winds there on the north side of Lake Waco. So strong winds coming in to the Waco area could be damaging, certainly could knock around some loose items outside. Anytime we have winds over 50, gusting to near 60 miles per hour, we often deal with some power outages, so that's something we'll be looking for as well. Let's go back to radar here. All right, let's see. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, so possibility of winds 50 to 60 miles per hour coming into the Waco area. Greatest concern for golf ball size hail is right over Lacey Lakeview between Elmont and Belmead. This is the area that could be seeing golf ball size hail right in there. That's your hail core right there, folks. So coming in on the north side of Waco, right over I-35, damaging hail, quarter size to $half to even really up to a golf ball size hail. This storm, this isn't one of those warnings where it's just, hey, we don't really know if it's happening or not, but certainly looks like a pretty intense storm on radar. This one has a history of producing damaging hail around the size of golf balls. So this isn't a storm to mess around with. It's got a history of producing some damaging hail and some strong wind gusts at over 50 miles per hour. Wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. I've seen storms with winds gusting over 40 that have created power issues. So once you get over 50 miles per hour, you definitely have plenty strong winds. Winds are strong enough to create some issues out there. But that's it. We're zoomed in just to the north of Waco. Hail core possibly producing golf ball size hail moving on the north side. Let's zoom that out a little bit and let's track that to the southeast. New radar scan just came in. Also strong damaging winds coming into Waco, 50 to 65 mile per hour winds possible there. So just because the main hail core is going to stay to the north of Waco, you guys are still going to see some gusty winds coming through likely here pretty soon. Let's see. We'll track this out. I'll just put it on the center of the hail core and we'll take it down to the southeast to Marlin. Loop it, slide this over here, and there you go. All right, so again, what I'm tracking out is the hail core here, pretty much sliding off towards the southeast. Let's go ahead. Actually, let's do it this way, because this thing is getting a little bit larger. The hail core is, so we need to make sure that we get all of it. So we'll slice across from downtown Waco to the southwest of Waco, back up to the northeast. So we'll make sure we get all of this storm, and we'll take it down to the southeast that way. All right. And even some of these last scans right here showing that maybe the hail core is not as pronounced, maybe shrunk in size a little bit, not as bright color pinks in there. What does that mean? It means that it's probably dropped a lot of its hail. And that's typical. These hail cores are going to certainly pulse up and down, and they'll create a lot of hail in there, and they'll drop it continuously as they go. But there can be times where they can drop a lot of it. A majority of the load can be dropped, and that may be what happened. It may have just dropped a lot of hail around Lacey, Lakeview, Belmead, areas just to the north there. So this is heading to the southeast. So I'm trying to give everybody a heads up in southeastern McLennan County and northern Falls County, Riesel, Perry, areas along Highway 6. This is your warning. 1229 Harrison, 1230 Hallsburg, 1238 Riesel, 1245 for Perry, 1247 for Otto, 1256 for Marlin, and 104 for Stranger. That's in east central portions of Falls County. This warning does continue down to the southeast. Let me see exactly how far it goes. It looks like it goes all the way down to, it stops at the Falls County line. So Bosque County, Falls County, Hill County, Limestone, and McLennan County, all under this severe thunderstorm warning until 1:15 p.m. Again, we have had a 56 mile per hour wind report come out of the Waco airport. We have had reports of golf ball size hail with this thunderstorm. as it moved out of Bosque County in the southeastern Bosque County and into McLennan County. This storm has a history of producing some large hail up to the size of golf ball size hail. So still, that's our top threat, is the golf ball size hail, and then also the possibility of 55 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts right over the I-35 corridor, and now shifting just to the east. So that's your time there. Again, we also have the thunderstorm, not as intense, but still a strong one back here now right on the McLennan and Bosque County line. This storm, it has the capabilities of producing at least some small hail, maybe up to the size of quarters, and you can see that little purple hail core showing up there. It looks like there's really not a lot out in this area. That's just to the northeast of Valley Mills. So just to the northeast of Valley Mills, that's another thunderstorm capable of producing gusty winds and at least small hail up to the size of quarters. Looks like we've got some other development here now pushing down to the south. You can see that line there. That's actually what we call an outflow boundary. That didn't show up too well. Let me see. Let's see if we get one of these other ones. We'll do this red line. Outline right there. That is what we call the outflow boundary. That's like a mini cold front. You can see it racing there. That is from the rain cold air from all the thunderstorms. So these big strong thunderstorms pulse up. Well, you got that warm muggy air that's feeding into the storm, and that's the fuel for the storm. That warm air goes up into these thunderstorms that typically go over 30,000 feet. I mean, these things at times can go 30, 40, 50 plus thousand feet. So obviously you're going to get some colder air there at the top, but you'll get a lot of this rain cold air that falls in the downdraft. So in the updraft, we have that warm, muggy air going in. That's the fuel, the gasoline for the storms. And then you get the rain cold downdraft that comes out, hits the ground, can't go in the ground, so it rushes out along the surface. You can get some gusty winds when that passes by. You typically will know. The gusty winds will certainly pick up, and then you can also just feel a coolness to the air. Those, again, outflow boundary shoots out, acts like a mini cold front, and will help ignite some more showers and thunderstorms. So, hey, it's getting going now. Showers and thunderstorms are going to remain possible for central Texas for the remainder of the day. And severe weather is going to continue to be possible through the afternoon and into the evening hours. So we have 2 thunderstorms now. One in southeastern Bosque County and one in McLennan County. Okay, Jim. Okay. Okay. So we'll do a cut-in. So you said from now on we'll just stay on air unless I'm otherwise told by you? Okay. Okay. All right, meteorologist Zach Scott here. Want to give you a severe weather update. Again, we continue to track these severe thunderstorms that have developed in northwestern portions of central Texas and are moving off towards the southeast. Do got to tell you, these storms have intensified. We have an unstable atmosphere continuing to develop across central Texas. So as this disturbance is dropping in from the northwest, it is starting to initiate and kick up thunderstorms in parts of the area. And really, as we move through the rest of the day, severe thunderstorms are going to remain possible. Yes, strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible for the rest of your Wednesday afternoon and through our Wednesday evening, and eventually thunderstorms will dissipate from northwest to southeast as we go this evening into the overnight. We could see a few lingering thunderstorms, especially across our southern zones into the overnight, but once we get past sunset, we get into the late evening hours, thunderstorm intensity will weaken. But right now we're seeing that thunderstorm intensity start to really pulse up across the area. And we just have 2 thunderstorms. These 2 thunderstorms are strong and severe, certainly the one in central McLennan County. They're moving off towards the southeast, and we do expect, again, more isolated thunderstorms to develop as we go through the remainder of the afternoon. So we've been highlighting the threat for severe weather, and it's here now. Again, we do have one severe thunderstorm warning. It goes from portions of Bosque County and Hill County through McLennan County into Falls County and a very thin sliver of extremely western Limestone County. This warning goes until 1:15 this afternoon. Now, I will tell you too, this storm does have a history of producing strong wind gusts. A 56 mile per hour wind gust was reported at the Waco airport, so we know it can produce some strong winds. We're seeing that on DopplerNet, that it is producing at least some strong winds within the storm, and now we were waiting to see if those are going to translate down to the ground. We've seen those strong winds translate to the surface in the form of that 56 mile per hour wind gust in Waco. This storm is being warned for the possibility of winds from 55 to 65 miles per hour, so those are plenty strong enough to pick up loose debris to create some damage. So damaging winds, that is a threat with these storms. We're also tracking the threat for large damaging hail. And as we went into this morning and looked at the afternoon, the top threats were large damaging hail and damaging wind gusts. I can actually show you those threats. We'll highlight the areas right now. So all of Central Texas, this is the Storm Prediction Center, puts out these outlooks, and this is kind of that early watch warning kind of deal here. We get these a day or two in advance and we watch them, and then these come out before a watch comes out. And I do think we'll likely see a thunderstorm watch here in the next hour or so. Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service are currently talking about doing that. So we will see a thunderstorm watch out for Central Texas. Basically what you're looking at, the orange shading overall has the highest, best chance for a strong to severe storm today, and then a lesser chance or lesser coverage in severe weather expected for the yellow to the green shading. So that's what that means. But breaking it down again, I think our highest concern today is damaging hail from quarter size to golf ball size hail. That's on high. That's the greatest concern today. And then the next one would be damaging wind gusts. And I have that at a medium for 60 plus mile per hour winds. And then the low categories, tornado, an isolated tornado or two can't be ruled out, but the setup today isn't overly favorable for tornadoes. But these thunderstorms today are going to be capable. These supercells, these rotating thunderstorms, you can never rule out a tornado, but these storms have a higher chance to produce more damaging hail and more damaging straight line wind gusts than they do to produce several tornadoes. But again, an isolated tornado or two can't be ruled out. The flooding threat, if storms do train over a few areas, certainly plenty of moisture in the air, that they could produce some flash flooding in low-lying poor drainage areas, but they'll overall continue moving along. So certainly you could pick up some very heavy rain, but the flooding concern not too big today. Okay, a little bit closer here into the severe thunderstorm polygon. We have the severe storm that is moving now east of I-35, right over Waco and off towards the east. Where you see, I'll stop radar here. We're using DopplerNet. We're looking at reflectivity. So we're looking at the precipitation in these thunderstorms. We're talking rain and hailstones in here. And where we see the purple new radar scan coming in there, you see that the hail core pulse back up. That's what I was talking about. These thunderstorms can pulse up and pulse down, and they do that often over the lifespan of these storms. It's very typical. The hail cores, they pulse up and down too. This storm is not having to compete with other thunderstorms, so it has a fresh and wide open supply of warm, humid air that is being pulled into this updraft, and this is a strong updraft that is creating quite the hail supply up there. And we've seen this hail core kind of pulse up and down, which means it's dropped a lot more at times. It's been dropping hail the whole way, but sometimes they'll drop more of that load than other times, and that's when you'll see the hail core shrink on radar, and then you'll see it pulse back up. So we do have Chief Meteorologist Andy Anderson in studio, and I'll throw it to him. But first, I do want to remind everybody, this storm does have a history of producing golf ball size hail already in Bosque County and parts of McLennan County. So it's no joke. These storms are certainly tapping into the unstable atmosphere, and that atmosphere is going to be around as we go through the day. And Andy, we're going to have the threat for more damaging hail reports coming in.
Very likely. Not only the hail, but the wind threat remains extremely high as well for us. You're looking at a close shot here, McLennan County. We have a couple of very strong cells in progress right now. One has moved just to the east of Waco out towards Trading House Lake and the Y for Mart, and then Perry Riesel and on down 6 towards Marlin. That storm is moving in that direction, moving away from Waco and headed into the extreme northern portions of Falls County and over into Limestone County. Behind that is a second cell that is coming in along Highway 6 and about to reach the double bridges there, close to Spiegelville, with what certainly looks like a good strong hail core in it as well. The National Weather Service issued severe thunderstorm warning for McLennan County and adjacent portions of, it looks like all of Falls County, honestly, and a good piece of Limestone County as well, just across the county line. The warning specifically includes Cossie and Mart, but if you're anywhere in Limestone County, be mindful that these storms can work their way towards you. They're not defined to be inside that box. I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's a live look from our Standard Insurance Agency Skylive weather camera. Beautiful day. You wouldn't think we'd be talking about any weather. Of course, this is pointing away from all the action, which is up in McLennan County right now. It's going to be kind of an interesting afternoon for us. Not only do we have these storms here, but the potential is there for more activity beginning to blow up as we get into the later afternoon hours of the peak heating of the day. Right now, this is the only storm, the only game in town for us right now, and we see this stuff again moving towards the southeast pretty rapidly, and the thinking is that we could see winds in excess of 60 miles an hour with some of these storms. That's a good possibility, and perhaps hail up to the size of golf balls. I have not gotten any confirmation on hail that size yet, but certainly it looks like the hail is of that size in these storms. You see how quickly they're moving. And again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for McLennan County and down into Falls County as well. We probably will be able to see the Weather Service clearing out these portions of Hill County and Bosque County on the Middle Bosque River there, probably in the next 10 minutes or so, as these storms are rapidly pushing on down towards the south and the southeast. We're looking at the velocity on this, trying to see if we can find any rotation on it. Let me get over here and get to the controls. There we go. Let's slide up into this storm. And we certainly see at least a little bit of rotation showing up. It's probably very broad, very loose in that area, but it is along the loop on the east side of town, very close to Highway 6, and it certainly bears watching. We're also seeing more broad rotation back along the county line near Valley Mills there, actually a little east of Valley Mills there. Perhaps a little stronger rotation showing up in this stuff near Waco. So certainly we want to keep a very close eye on that. And we're not, this is not a drill. This is the real deal. This is a severe thunderstorm that is in progress in a very populated area. If you have not made a plan for severe weather, you need to really be thinking about it right now, because this one is on top of us now. This is the time when you want to move to a safe place, get away from the windows, be sure that your automobile and anything else that you value is up under something substantial to protect it, because we do anticipate hail out of this stuff before the afternoon is over with. Let's see. Storm report from the National Weather Service reporting hail of nickel size up near North Crest, which is Elmont, that area, and on back down to the north side of Waco. Nickel size held in the Elmont area as well. Ross also in that same region. That part of the north side of Waco, basically what we're talking about here with that storm. Now, this is a few minutes old, that report is. And the storm is certainly moving on further down towards the southeast, so it's going to continue its trek on into Falls County. This is the forecast model we're looking at here from noon on through the afternoon. It generally stays fair to partly cloudy across the region. Our temperatures stay in the 80s, but the atmosphere is very unstable, so we'll very likely see more of this kind of activity popping up this afternoon. We do not have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect, as Zach was telling you earlier, because the Weather Service is seeing this as just as an isolated instance of a storm popping up. The real show with this is going to be later this afternoon, we think, probably a couple hours from now. And at that point, we very likely will see a severe thunderstorm watch issued for much of central Texas, particularly east of I-35, as these storms will brew up close to the interstate and then moving on towards the east. Forecast models point towards 6 p.m. being a pretty active time period for us. Once we get into the evening, most of the stuff starts dying out pretty rapidly, and we're done with it. And it looks very much like the next several days are going to start looking at a very dry regime for us here in central Texas. We'll get rid of all the stormy weather conditions we've had. Another look from the weather camera and Bob Mills Furniture on the south side of Temple. Clouds have increased across our area right now. We're not seeing any rain or any storms for Bell County, but the day is young, as they say. We could see something happening before much later this afternoon. New report coming in from up near Golson. That's the northern portion of McLennan County, between Waco and Lake Whitney. Golson reports size of $half hail. That's like 1.25 inches near China Spring. So you're getting real close to the metropolitan areas of Waco with this storm. Here's the one we're talking about here, and it's a hail producer. We have had confirmation on that. Look for more hail, very likely in the second body of storm, now pushing in towards McGregor. You're going to be in the line of that storm, it looks like, and as we go through the afternoon, it will continue making its way on down into the northern portions of Falls County as well. So if you're in the Mart, Riesel, Perry-Otto area, be mindful that's coming your way, and it's coming towards you pretty rapidly. Again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for McLennan, portions of Bosque and Hill, and all of Falls County for until 1:15 this afternoon for these storms that have popped up out ahead of the big action that we're anticipating later this afternoon. Zach, have you got anything you want to add and can add to this?
Yeah, I mean, we are talking about so often, especially this spring, we've seen clusters of thunderstorms come in, but today the real threat is not so much big clusters of thunderstorms and lines of thunderstorms coming in, but these discrete, as we call them in the business, discrete supercells. So we have supercells here. It looks like 2 of them. These are rotating thunderstorms, so they have those rotating updrafts. So even at times, if the rotation is broad, there's going to be a little, at least somewhat of some rotation with these thunderstorms. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast here a little bit. These thunderstorms are going to be rotating, and these rotating updrafts are what's producing these large hail thunderstorms. We do have reports of golf ball size hail falling around Lacey Lakeview as this storm came through. And we also had official reports of golf ball size hail as it was around Laguna Park. So again, this leading thunderstorm, the one that's east of I-35, has a history of producing small hail from the size of peas and coins all the way up to golf ball size hail. So like we're saying, these aren't storms that look bad on radar. These are storms. These are damaging storms. These are storms that are packing a punch as they move through. These are the real deal thunderstorms here. They are capable of producing large damaging hail, and a lot of it. They'll probably produce at least a lot of small hail, but you can have the quarter and the $half and the golf ball size hail mixed in, and that can get pretty noisy, and it can certainly create a lot of damage. These storms are also going to have the possibilities of producing damaging wind gusts. Again, we've had the one wind gust at 56 miles per hour around Waco. So these storms on velocity showing that there's some strong wind gusts in there. So I wouldn't be shocked that we get other reports of some strong wind gusts over 55 miles per hour. And again, this storm continues to be warned for the possibility of up to 65 miles per hour. But what we have 2 individual thunderstorms. Of course, we have the track pulled up for you here. So it's heading southeast around 35 miles per hour for the leading supercell thunderstorm here east of 35. It's dropping southeast again around 35. So it's right on Hebron School. That hail core is just a couple of miles back to your west-northwest. And then a little bit further down the line, 1242 Perry, Marlin, 1256, Reagan, 110, High Bank, 115, as this storm gets ready to move out of southeastern McLennan County and into Falls County down Highway 6. So if you live down Highway 6, you've got a couple of minutes heads up here to get some things in order. And if you want to bring some stuff in, bring it in, because the winds are going to pick up and the heavy rain is going to be coming down. There's going to be a lot of dangerous lightning out there. So remember, if you're close enough to To hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning, and also the possibility of some damaging hail. It looks like the hail core right now may ride along or stay to the west of Highway 6. We'll watch that. But that's just one storm. Again, we have the other one back to the west just a little bit, back to the northwest. So it looks like Golson's already had a couple of thunderstorms move through it. This storm, you can see the hail core right there to the east of Crawford, just south of Highway 6. On the west side of Waco. That storm is going to be heading towards Hewitt. So heads up to you, as that storm is also going to have the capabilities of producing small hail up to at least quarter size, if not half dollar size. And it shows the latest scan right there, just shows that hail core shrank in size. So what it means is it probably dropped a lot of that hail there to the east of Highway 317, to the east of Crawford. So that storm is going to continue to slide to the southeast towards Hewitt and towards Lorena. So keep that in mind. Heavy rain coming down in Waco right now. Again, this hail core, this is the storm that prompted the initial warning. You can clearly see that hail core well defined right there with the purples and the violets and the deep dark reds and maroon. That is what's capable and has the history of producing the very large damaging golf ball size hail. That is getting very close to Perry. So if you live in Perry, you live along Highway 6 there in extreme southeastern portions of McLennan County or northern Falls County, heads up to you. Marlin, heads up to you. This storm is held everything together since it developed in Bosque County and has been producing damaging hail and at least a lot of small hail all the way. So it's getting a lot closer to you. I'll also take the opportunity again to look at the velocity inside this storm. Let me track this back to the last 45 minutes. Let's see where the strongest winds are. You can see them. They're showing up in those bright greens, and when it goes from green to blue, if you follow us, this is velocity signature here. When we show those brighter colors, that's where we're indicating the strongest winds. So two areas of winds to watch here. We have the winds to the west of Riesel where it goes from green to blue. This is DopplerNet picking up on the winds inside these thunderstorms. So not only can we see the precipitation falling, we can also see the winds there. Those are going to be heading southeast as well. It'll be this area right in here. If we're going to see 50 to 65 mile per hour winds, this will be the area dropping to the southeast. So if you live, again, west of Perry or near Perry, move indoors, away from windows, as even there with the latest scan showing more of those blues showing up. So maybe a straight line wind threat, damaging wind gusts coming in from this storm, moving closer to Falls County and closer to Highway 6 there. And then also back towards the west, here is the leading edge of some strong winds moving along Highway 84, also moving southeast towards I-35, Lorena, Hewitt. The winds are going to be picking up very soon for you as well. So we're watching that. Not only a damaging hail threat, but a damaging wind threat as well for McLennan County currently right now pretty much, and then Falls County. This storm is going to be moving your way. And again, as Andy was just saying, these are just some of the early thunderstorms. We have potential for thunderstorms through the remainder of the afternoon and into the evening hours. Andy?
Yeah, thanks, Zach. I'm watching this loop on the thunderstorms making their way through the Waco area, and they're heading south right now pretty rapidly, south-southeast. The latest track on that should put it near Perry by about, well, it should be in the Perry area right now, through Marlin, almost 1 o'clock, about the same time for Blue Ridge and Stranger as well. Reagan about 1:15. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for McLennan and Falls County until 1:15. It may be extended beyond that if these storms continue to hold together like that. Bremond, you can be looking for it almost at 1:30, about 1:45 at Ridge, Calvert about that same time, at almost 2 o'clock for Franklin. As a couple of very strong, very active thunderstorm cells are rolling down, basically straddling the Brazos River right now. And as I pointed out in the past, it seems like these storms like to really pick up a whole lot of strength when they get over a body of water like that. You're feeding more moisture in there, and we may be seeing that happen as well. Live look downtown Temple from the Standard Insurance Agency Skylive weather camera. Bell County, you're in good shape right now, but don't take the boat out on the lake either. This could change pretty rapidly this afternoon. We have been put in an enhanced risk area here at all of central Texas for the threat of strong thunderstorm activity building up this afternoon, moving across the area. So far, the stuff up in Waco is the only game in town, but we do anticipate, again, additional activity to blow up this afternoon. There is a trough of low pressure that extends west to east across our area, and that is going to be the focal point for showers and thunderstorms, and they could be severe. We're already talking about large hail in these storms up in the Waco area right now. More of that is on the way for us as we go into the late afternoon and early evening hours as well. Forecast rainfall totals not that impressive because these storms are going to be moving pretty rapidly, maybe a quarter of an inch to maybe half an inch of rain possible across our region. If you're out and about and you see some of these storms, take a picture, shoot some video, send it to us at the phone number you see there at the bottom of the screen, 254-859-5481. We're going to be here and staying on top of this storm, staying with you on the air and on Facebook throughout the afternoon until this stuff begins to settle down a little bit. Again, that phone number, if you have video or a photograph of some of these storms or hail examples. Hail examples are great if you can put something with that photograph that'll give us a scale of the size that we're talking about. Let me see what else we can find here. Put the radar back on, because here's our warning storms right at the center of your screen. Two distinct cells and one big mother storm that is practically on top of Waco right now and moving very little from McLennan County. It is heading on down towards the south at about 20-25 miles an hour right now, close to Galinda at this time, and you're getting some very heavy rain. See, between Galinda and Mart, right there on the county line there, you've got the Brazos River going right through, so it's a good moisture source. And it looks like it's heading to Marlin and then on towards Bremond and Calvert and Hearn later on this evening as we watch that storm. Let's see. Yeah, we'll pull out, put it into motion, and give you again an idea that we're getting some additional rain developing up towards Moshim, northern Coryell County, north of Gatesville, towards Jonesboro, about to get some rain as well. Then back down towards Valley Mills, we're tracking showers and moderate thunderstorm in progress right now, but it's moving into that warning, which is McLennan County and eventually into Falls County as well. Look for winds to be in the neighborhood of 40 to 50 miles an hour with some of these strong storms. We're seeing some broad rotation, but now it looks like maybe a little tighter rotation showing up. Zach was showing us the vertical velocity on this earlier, and you could see kind of a dry slot trying to work its way into some of that rotation there. So we certainly want to keep an eye on this stuff. Again, no tornadoes been reported, no tornadoes indicated yet, but certainly we're seeing the rotation going on right now. We've got winds in the upper level of the atmosphere coming in out of the north and northwest, blowing down towards the southeast, but our surface winds down at ground level are out of the south and southeast. So there is a potential that with elevation you could see a little bit of shear with this stuff. So tornadic activity is not at a zero risk for us today, but we're certainly not the big worry. What we're really concerned with is going to be hail and damaging winds with these storms. The rest of the area right now is stable. We got a pretty good cap in the atmosphere, but these storms have popped up, and as they've popped up, they rapidly intensified in strength across Bosque County, close to Clifton and Valley Mills, and now continue their trek on down towards the south and through McLennan County and Waco. Very heavy rains on I-35 and along the loop around Waco, and on Highway 6 and Highway 77, both getting some moderate to very heavy rains across the area. Hail 2 inches in diameter being reported in the Perry Otto area and heading down towards Marlin and close to the St. Paul Church there on Highway 6, or just off of Highway 6. So we continue to keep a very close eye on a very dangerous storm in progress right now here in Central Texas. Zach, what have you come up with?
Yeah, I was just seeing that too, where the hail cores looked impressive, and then as you were just noting, the new severe thunderstorm warning, well, it's the continuation of the current warning, but the wordage has been upped to 2-inch hail now for the thunderstorm that is exiting McLennan County into Falls County. So that is greater than golf ball size. I believe it's officially, I think we call it hen egg size. So you start thinking about the size of an egg. That is what is possible. And again, this is a supercell. Often, a lot of times this year, we've seen clusters of thunderstorms come in, and why does that matter? You get a bunch of thunderstorms out there, they're competing for the same fuel. You get an individual thunderstorm out there, and it's moving south into a more unstable atmosphere. I just looked at the information coming out of Temple at the airport. It's 83 degrees with a dew point now in the upper 60s. That is plenty of moisture, and that is the fuel. That's the gasoline that these storms are drinking. So temperatures in the lower 80s, plenty of sunshine, dew points in the upper 60s. This storm is just... we often say if these storms can tap into the available atmosphere that's there, they will easily be able to become severe. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this severe thunderstorm right here, this supercell, this rotating thunderstorm. We're seeing it tap into everything that is available to it, and it is not having to compete against any other thunderstorms. You notice the thunderstorm just to the southwest of Waco, that one is technically competing a little bit, and it's really along the boundary and kind of just behind that boundary, that rain-cooled air. The one out ahead of it is much stronger because it's not ingesting any rain-cooled air. It's only ingesting this hot, muggy, humid air. Look at the hail track here for the last 45 minutes. I mean, it continues to increase. Now, I will say sometimes DopplerNet can underdo these hail cores and it can overdo it a little bit, but nonetheless, it is certainly climbing the chart here, and so that's why the new severe thunderstorm warning for the possibility of 2-inch in diameter hail. That is dangerous hail. It's not safe to be outside in this hailstorm. You already need to be indoors, and we're seeing this hail core get very close, Andy, to Marlin. So if you are in the Marlin area, if you are along Highway 6, this is a very severe, damaging storm moving your way. And of course, you start talking about these strong rotating updrafts. And as Andy was pointing out just a couple of minutes ago, seeing a little bit more of that low-level rotation trying to show up there. And you would expect that. Again, this is a very more well-organized storm coming together. And even if it doesn't produce a wall cloud or a rotating wall cloud or a tornado or anything like that, it's going to have some kind of lower level rotation, and it's been pretty broad. What we don't want to see is that tightening up, and when we start to see those couplets tightening up a little bit, that's when we start to get a little bit more concerned as far as any tornado potential goes. But this storm is producing some strong wind gusts on the backside of it, the rear flank downdraft we call it. You got that warm, humid, muggy air going up out ahead of it. And then you've got that rain-cooled air wrapping around the backside of it. So some damaging winds still not out of the question. It looks like maybe the strongest wind gusts are actually just southeast of Golinda. Those will continue to drop south. Marlin, the greatest concern for you is going to be the hail core. So areas along and west of Highway 6, you can see that hail core currently right there. New radar scans show it is getting very close. This is the hail track, so it's moving to the southeast. Let's put a track on that for you as well. And just looking at some of the latest winds here, yeah, there's some strong winds on the backside of this, just to the east of Golinda. Let me put a track on this for you. We'll just do in front of the current hail core, again, which is knocking on the door of Marlin. We'll take it down to the southeast. Let's say it just continues along this track, right along Highway 6 to the Falls County line. And that's putting it in Marlin. I mean, we're talking about just a couple of minutes here, folks. 1 p.m. for Booker T. Washington High School, so we're right there around the Marlin area. High Bank 116. So it is coming into the community of Marlin, possibility of very large damaging hail. This storm has a history, folks, of producing a lot of hail, at least small size, up to quarters, and it does have the history of going beyond that. We've had multiple reports of golf ball size hail with this storm, so keep that in mind. This one is definitely capable of producing some damage, and again, it goes beyond that. Here's where I want to show the possibility of some strong wind gusts. Let me go to pause the radar now, and there we go, and I'll zoom in just a little bit here for you. Strongest winds, that little bright banded area right there to the west of Marlin. If we're going to have some strong wind gusts coming around the backside of this storm, it's going to be right there. So if you live between Marlin and Highway 7, if you live between Highway 6 and Highway 7 to the east of Chilton, that's where we could see maybe some strong wind gusts coming out on the backside of this storm. Andy?
Hey, we got some video. I want to show you this. One of our weather watchers, Mimi Yvonne, caught some real impressive hail in Lacey Lakeview. This is close to the police department there. Man, it's covering the ground almost like snow, doesn't it look? If you have photographs or you can roll video for us, please send it to the number you see at the bottom of the screen, 254-859-5481. Would love to have your name, so give us your name and where you are recording this video or taking the photograph so that we can have a locator on it as well. Again, Lacey Lakeview, and some of the hail that we've getting reports of hail from penny-sized up to golf ball-sized hail across McLennan County, and now these storms just about to make their way through the heart of Falls County, particularly in and around the area between the county line at Riesel and into Marlin now. Wow. That's going on right now, or just a couple of minutes ago, but it is in progress across central Texas of these two storms that we're watching, and have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for right along the Brazos River in McLennan County and in Falls County as well. Take a look outside downtown Temple here. This is from the Standard Insurance Agency skyline where the camera, it's a completely different story, but it may not last like that. We very likely will see showers and thunderstorms. Don't look for it to be an extended period, but we certainly anticipate the storms popping up across not only Bell County, but Lampasas County and Williamson County, Milam County, all of central Texas before the afternoon is over with. It is becoming a warm, kind of humid afternoon for us. Here's the storms we're talking about. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for McLennan County and for Falls County. Storm sitting almost on top of Marlin now, rolling down Highway 6. So it's very close to Perry Auto and that region as well. A little wider look at this, we'll put it into motion, and you see it is coming right down the river right now. What we're looking at here is the vertical velocity on the storm. We're trying to see if there is rotation going on in these storms. We're seeing some rather broad rotation showing up, but just to the north of Marlin, there is an indication that there might be something trying to get going there. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, the atmosphere is beginning to show a little bit of shear potential across the area. We're also seeing a very likely hail core showing up along Highway 77 back right along the county line as well. That would put it near Galinda and Asa in that region of Falls and McLennan County. Here are the hail tracks that we've been watching, and again, this storm is producing hail all the length of its track from up near Valley Mills to almost to Marlin now. And I guess, as I said, some of this has been large hail to the size of golf balls, as Zach was telling us a few minutes ago. There's a forecast model, and as I always point out, this is not gospel, but it is certainly a good indication of what we think is going to happen this afternoon. Temperatures in the 80s now, cooling rapidly with these thunderstorms into the upper 70s. As we hit the later afternoon hours and the sun heats up that air once again and makes it a little more unstable, we'll start seeing more activity firing off across the area. Again, we have a mid-level trough of low pressure, if you will, extending west to east across the region right now, and that's going to be the focal point. I mean, it cuts right through central Texas, and that's why the Dallas-Fort Worth area is not so concerned about it right now. But as we see these storms down into the Brazos Valley later this afternoon, the Bryan-College Station area could be looking at the potential for some strong storms. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, likely to see this stuff popping up out west all the way back down into our area once again. Before it's all done, we have some indication that we may see another round of showers for the Waco area this afternoon. But once you get through with that, then things start settling down for us, and the models for the next couple of days point towards the atmosphere stabilizing and drying out a little bit. So we may be able to see a little dry spell lined up for us. Live look from our Bob Mills Furniture Skylive weather camera in Temple on the HK Dodge and Loop, and we have some additional hail video, I believe, or at least photograph. This is in Belle Meade. It's a wild afternoon for us. You want to stay inside and away from any windows, any glass that could be broken by hail or blowing debris. We're talking about some very strong winds across Central Texas this afternoon, embedded in these as well. So please be mindful that it could be kind of a bumpy afternoon for us. If you have video or photographs, again, here's the phone number, 254-859-5481. Send your photos or video. Identify yourself and where you took the pictures, and we would love to be able to share them with everyone. Zach is standing by. Zach has been watching Facebook. Have we gotten any reports on Facebook from our viewers, Zach?
Not that I've seen. Still having to battle through some Wi-Fi connections during the quarantine. You know how it goes here from home. I am back. I just saw that video, incredible video coming in. They did up the severe thunderstorm warning for the Marlin area, 70-mile-per-hour winds and baseball-sized hail. So this is certainly one of the stronger storms we've had in Central Texas in quite some time. And just incredible. I mean, when we see the radar signature here, the reflectivity, go from the purples to the blacks, we are seeing that storm really intensify, so much so that it's actually gone above and beyond what the color panel up at the top is. I can take that off and I'll show you here in just a second, bear with me. But I'll take off the warning at the top and you'll see it. It only goes to the purple, so we've gone beyond that, and that's why it's showing up in the black. So it's above it. The radar is just saying, hey, there's some large objects, some large precipitation being noted in there. And again, very impressive hail signature right over the community of Marlin. Marlin taking a direct hit with this severe thunderstorm, capable of producing winds up to 70 miles per hour and baseball-sized hail. Again, this thunderstorm, we've said it 100 times, has a history of producing small pea-sized hail all the way up to golf ball-sized hail. Hopefully we are not getting any reports of baseball-sized hail, but this is the most intense that this hail core has been. So hey, if you are in the Marlin area, if you're near this storm now, when it's okay, let us know what you saw. We want those reports, and we may have some damage reports coming in, or maybe is it pictures, video coming in.
Well, I'm seeing a report
Robertson
here.
Area, some damage.
I'm seeing a report here, Zach, of 1-inch tree limbs being broken. This is up in the Waco area at Woodway, and shingles being blown off of buildings out towards McGregor, between McGregor and, I guess, the McGregor Airport. So very strong winds.
Well, Andy, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, you've been doing this long enough that you know thunderstorms 50 miles per hour or greater, certainly 45, 50 miles per hour, can create some tree damage, can rip some shingles off and knock some things around. So I bet you're not surprised if this storm's been warned for 60 to now 70 mile per hour winds for quite some time. You start getting wind gusts over 55 miles per hour, 60 miles per hour, and you're not going to be shocked. I'm not going to be shocked that we are going to start getting some kind of damage reports in, even if it's just trees. But if we are seeing winds over 60 up to 70, unfortunately we may get some more damage reports in coming from some structures and things like that.
Well, and we're also seeing the storm moving out of rural areas of McLennan and Falls County now into the county seat there, Marlin, which is densely populated. So you're going to have more structural damage, very likely. Remember, we're warning right now for winds of 70 miles an hour. 70 miles an hour is almost hurricane strength. Let me let that sink in for a second. We've got hurricane strength winds, or almost hurricane strength winds, straddling Highway 7. Hail video coming in to us from Robinson. Man, I always tell you folks, now's the time to move that vehicle in where you've got some shelter for it. Fortunately, this is pretty small hail, but with the afternoon's over with, I do anticipate seeing some large hail showing up across Central Texas. This, again, is from
Andy.
Robinson. There's the same storm that produced that stuff. Robinson is on Highway 77, just outside of Waco, kind of a bedroom community, if you will, in McLennan County. The storm is moving on over into and sitting squarely on top of Marlin right now and heading down Highway 6 and really encompassing Highway 7 as well. As far to the east as Cossie right now. So Stranger and Blue Ridge, those areas are getting hammered as well with heavy rains and strong winds. But the core, look at the pinkish purple colors. Man, that is right on top of Highway 7 and 6 where they intersect in Marlin, and they're getting bombed right now with the potential for hail 2 inches in diameter. And winds, again, we're warning for winds that could be in the neighborhood of 70 miles an hour. Zoomed in and you can see, yeah, we're talking about some really potent weather in progress right now in Falls County. And the movement on this is down.
Hey, Andy.
Just basically right down Highway 6 and Highway 7. Yes, sir. Yes, Zach?
Well, and I was going to say, unfortunately we saw a lot of the black start to shrink, and that's good news for areas south of Marlin. But what that's probably indicating, whatever is in there, again, it's being warned up to baseball size, not necessarily mean that there's for sure baseball size hail in there, but whatever was in there, likely a lot of that has been dumped now on the Marlin community or just to the north of Marlin. So as you were saying earlier, some of that hail video that was coming in where it kind of looks like snow on the ground, if there's going to be an area, the next area that may look like that, it'd be areas north of Marlin, because again, we're seeing a lot of that black was showing up in there, and if we freeze it, you'll see that it kind of shrinks, and of course these hail cores pulse up and down. What it likely did, it dropped a lot of hail. Whatever was in there, a lot of it dropped, but look how intense it is. It's already intensifying and building back up that hail core. And again, as you said, I mean, this thing is just, it's right over the community of Marlin. So the entire town of Marlin is being impacted by this storm too. And we can't forget, I mean, it's not often that we cover baseball-sized hail thunderstorms here, but this storm is also warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible with it. Looking at the wind field here, I'll throw that up real quick as well. If there's going to be 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, they are going to be right over here around the Chilton area. That's where I'm seeing the brightest winds potentially. Certainly going to be some strong winds there in the Marlin area. I don't want to downplay that. But as far as the strongest winds being picked up by Doppler right now, it's going to be that bright green going to more of a light blue shading working due south on Highway 7 there, just to the east of I-35. That's where your strongest winds are. Again, this storm is being warned for the possibility of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Andy, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, we've got some more video coming into us from the Robinson area. Look at that. Is that the sound of rain on a tin roof that I'm hearing? Man. Again, there's a number at the bottom of the screen. If you capture some of this with your cell phone or video camera, please share it with us, 254-859-5481. And be sure to include your name and where you shot the video and maybe what time it came in. There's some more of that video that we were seeing earlier from Robinson of hail just covering that automobile. Here's the radar. We'll show you one more time here. Strong thunderstorms rolling out of McLennan County, and we're clearing portions of McLennan County back to the north, back towards the lake and on up towards Valley Mills and Bosque County are out of the woods for this storm. But look at this stuff over here in Coryell County. New storms brewing up from near Jonesboro now into the Gatesville area and pushing towards South Mountain and heading on down towards McGregor to Mother Neff Park and very close to Moody is what. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm trying to get it to turn around, so we won't be going to that here anytime soon. Severe thunderstorm warning again for us today until 1:15. I'm betting we'll probably see an extension on that one as it makes its way on down into Robertson County. Bremond just now beginning to see the leading edge of the rain from that storm that's made its way into the Marlin area. Oh. We have a photograph from our sports director, Nick Canizales, from his home. Look at the hail all piled up there. Now this is, that's a lot of hail building up. That's, I think the Woodway, Hewitt Woodway area, I believe is where he is. Amazing. trying to get these weather cameras to straighten
Andy?
up, not getting any help. Yes, go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so still looking at even some of the latest data coming in. Of course, there's all kinds of data and numbers that we're crunching all the time. We have these very large, super smart, super huge computers that's crunching fresh data constantly coming in. These weather stations, these weather sites scattered around the country, constantly taking the temperature, taking the moisture content, taking all of that information, and it's actually always ingesting into these computers fresh data. So these, the systems that we use to create these weather models, they're not just running on some simple program. They are taking actual weather features and weather patterns and weather across the world and across the country, and it's constantly being ingested in. And so we're getting the latest update with the latest information that we know to be true, and then pumping it into these computers and then allowing them to kind of look to see where the next storm might fire up. Still looking at some of the latest data coming in. It's got this cluster of thunderstorms well placed right now moving southeast and still wanting to redevelop a few more thunderstorms back out towards the west. Now we are seeing an outflow boundary here. Really cool signature. It's like a mini cold front. It's that line that you see, that well-defined line working southwest from Hamilton to Jonesboro to Gatesville to Flat to Troy. You see that little line propagating back out towards the west, southwest? That is an outflow boundary. That is rain-cooled air from these thunderstorms earlier on that has rushed out of these storms, hit the ground, and then rushed out. And it's acting like a little mini cold front, and it's helped initiating and sparking up showers and thunderstorms on its own. But again, the overall big parent system that's helping create today's potential for severe weather, that energy is still going to work through. And looking out to the north right now, it is very dark looking north from downtown Temple, but the sun is still shining on my house. So again, we still have a warm and unstable atmosphere out there in central Texas. And again, we've been saying this, we're going to have the threat for strong to severe storms around at least through the remainder of the afternoon. And then there is even the possibility we'll have to see how things shake out here as we get into the evening hours. But nonetheless, we do have the severe warning there for the storm that's mostly confined to Falls County. Watching those thunderstorms develop quickly and rapidly going up in Coryell County and in northern Bell County. Those thunderstorms currently not warned, but we do have significant weather advisories. It's kind of the pre-step, the pre-warning, so to speak, before an official severe warning. We do have criteria that these thunderstorms have to meet. We generally say winds 60 plus miles per hour. The actual official criteria is winds 58 plus miles per hour and at least quarter size hail. So if it doesn't meet that criteria, the National Weather Service is not going to put official seal and stamp of a severe thunderstorm warning on it, but it has gone up and pulsed up very quickly, and we are seeing the possibility of wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour and nickel size hail with this storm. But we know these storms are moving into an even more unstable area, and so wouldn't be shocked if we continue to see these grow. Again, the leading storm, the main one that we've been watching all eyes on from the time it developed in Bosque County and moved across McLennan County, is that storm there in Falls County. Two hail cores that we're watching with this. The main one in Marlin, which that hail core has been ongoing since Bosque County. It was first producing small hail up to the size of golf balls in Laguna Park there in Bosque County. Moved across McLennan County, lots of small hail. A lot of the video we've been showing you here, we just showed you the video from our sports director Nick Canizala's house, at least looking like a lot of small size hail, marble size hail, up to near the size of quarters. And then also reports of golf ball size hail there north of Waco in Lacey Lakeview. This storm is being warned for the possibility up to baseball size hail. Now we have seen the hail core look like it's come down a little bit. We're not seeing that black signature there in the middle, but we've still got those purples, those violets, those pink colors there, still indicating a very strong updraft capable of producing large damaging hail, at least to the size of golf balls, I would think. Also have another hail core heading towards Lott right now through the Chilton area. This hail core at least producing a quarter size hail. Wouldn't be shocked if it's somewhere between quarter to 2-inch size hail for the storm that's working down Highway 77. So we'll continue to watch that. Again, the worst of it right now is in Falls County. But look at these hail cores, Andy, popping up around Gatesville. Got another hail core popping up right over, what is that, just to the north of Bruceville Eddy. It's right there along Highway 35, south of Moody, close to the Troy area. Bruceville Eddy over there toward the east, but to the northwest of Troy, right there on 317 south of Moody. Yeah, look at that hail core quickly going up. So we'll have to watch these storms try to intensify. If they continue to do so, wouldn't be shocked if we get a severe thunderstorm warning on these if they can certainly continue on these trends.
Well, and these are the storms you were talking about earlier. The Weather Service has issued a significant weather advisory on nickel-sized hail showing up on the Weather Service Doppler radars, and the estimate of probably 50-mile-an-hour winds in these storms that are generally in the Highway 36 to Highway 107 corridor there, which includes Mother Neff State Park and Oglesby, and now they're making their way all the way into northern Bell County, north of Temple, close to Troy, just to the south of Bruceville, Eddy there, and just wild weather from Gatesville to Marlin, almost solid, strong to severe weather going on across Central Texas. If you have video or some still photographs of these storms and you'd like to share them with us, we'd love to get them. Send them to the number you see here on the bottom of the screen, 254-859-5481. Give us an idea where you shot the video or the photographs, and of course include your name. We'd like to share that with everyone as well. We've been spinning the sky cams around trying to pick up this really ragged looking sky. This is from our Standard Insurance Agency SkyLive weather camera in downtown Temple, looking back to the north, and these are the storms that you see. Marlin would be in this general direction here. You're talking about Perry Otto in that area there, and the further back this way you go, the closer you're getting to Waco, so you get a bit of a break. But as Zach said, across portions of Temple right now, the sun is still shining, and it's a beautiful afternoon for us. Outside of the sunshiny areas, we got clouds and lots of moisture, and the sun beating down on those moist cloud tops has really fired off showers and thunderstorms across the area from Gatesville all the way down to Marlin now, and now into Bremont. We're looking at showers and thunderstorms, and looking at some circulation showing up at this hail producer that we were talking about earlier. They're close to Marlin. It's south of Marlin now, along Highway 6, so you're getting close to Bremont in that region, a little bit south of Stranger and Blue Ridge as well. They would be a little further off towards the northeast from there. And this is the vertical velocity. This is what shows us the bright colors and the hot colors and the warm colors next to the cold colors, an indication of air that is moving towards and away from the radar site, and shows us where there could be a little bit of circulation. We're certainly seeing at least some broad rotation there south of Marlin with that storm. And we're also seeing indication of still producing hail back across much of the area from Waco all the way down to Chilton and over to Marlin as well. These storms are moving towards the southeast at around 20-25 miles an hour. They're moving pretty quick. They all are characterized by strong gusty winds. In most cases, we can safely say 30-mile-an-hour winds in some of these storms, but there's also the potential for getting as strong as 50-mile-an-hour winds. And we're getting warnings that push those wind speeds up to as much as 70 miles an hour. Now, that is close to hurricane strength with these storms, so that we're going to see some damage from these, even though most of this there. Oh, we got more hail video. This one coming into us from Hewitt. Look at these storms. Wow. Very heavy rain accompanying the hail as it comes down. Jane. Thank you, Jane, for sharing your video with us. Appreciate that. This is small hail, pea-sized, I would say, just from what we can tell by looking at that. Thank you very much. We appreciate getting that. As I heard Zach mention earlier, you are our eyes out in the field on these storms, and you're the ones that give us an idea of what we're looking at. This is from our Bob Mills Furniture SkyLive weather camera. You know that it is located at the Bob Mills store on the HK Dodge and Loop, which is on the south side of Temple. And the camera now, I have turned it back towards the west, more to a north-northwest. So this is the storm that we're looking at from Gatesville to Mother Neff State Park and over toward Moody. Very dark skies. You've got some very heavy rain occurring back in that area, and some very windy, hail-producing storms in that region. Please heed the warnings. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for McLennan and Falls County. Let's see, brand new.
Yeah, Andy, there's a new warning out there for Bell, Coryell, and Falls County.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah. Hey, I do want, Andy, I do want to say the outflow boundary has just come through my neighborhood, and that wind, when it gets there at the station, it is, you're probably going to hear it rattle in the door a little bit. I don't have, ways of measuring the wind here. I don't have an anemometer with me, but I would definitely say the wind gusts are at least over 30 miles per hour, which is pretty typical. These outflow boundaries certainly have their own winds with them that are pretty strong. But yeah, I would not be shocked if the winds just with this outflow boundary are 30, 40 miles per hour. Again, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning out that just came for the storms pulsed up. I already have this mapped out. Let's go ahead and do a time for everybody. This is with the severe thunderstorm that we've been watching for a while now, which prompted us to come on air here and make sure everybody was forewarned about this storm here. This one is moving through Falls County. We're looking down towards the Brazos Valley. If you're new to the area, you can see Waco and Temple there to the left side of the screen. That's the I-35 corridor. We're on our eastern half of Central Texas, and we're working down towards the Brazos Valley. So Falls County, we're still watching that big, bright purple hail core there, moving along Highway 6, getting very close to High Bank. Hammond, this storm is coming towards you as well. Franklin, down the road, Highway 79 there. And in Robertson County, this storm is going to take, it looks like it's continuing on that same southern, southeastern track and continuing to move southeast of around 40 miles per hour. And again, Franklin 148 for you, Branchville 152, Hearn 159, Gauze 204, Edge 209. That storm, they did bring down the wording on that, no longer for the baseball size hail, but still very dangerous and large hail. We're talking 2.5 inches in diameter. That's around tennis ball. They also brought the winds down, Andy, from 70 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts, possibly embedded within this storm. So take this storm serious. Again, we have it highlighted here. This is a severe storm moving through Falls County and into the Brazos Valley for portions of Milam and Robertson County. And we also have that other severe thunderstorm warning now for portions of Coryell and Bell County. Those storms have pulsed up very quickly. We'll go take a look at those. Looks like golf ball size hail and 60 mile per hour winds are going to be possible there as well. Trying to move the radar over just a little bit. It looks like they've really, here Andy, looks like they've just encompassed these two updrafts. One of them there centered around Gatesville, the other just to the south of Moody, it looks like. So we could be seeing some damaging hail moving into the Troy area. It's just along and east of I-35, or excuse me, 317, Highway 317. Seeing that little purple-violet, that hail core, the purples there, showing up just to the west of Troy. It's moving towards you, Troy. That's where we could see golf ball size hail embedded in with at least probably a large pocket of small hail. And we've also got the other thunderstorm. It's kind of a line here, not moving a whole lot too. So you know, Andy, we're going to be talking about the possibility of some localized flash flooding in certain areas, and also looks like we're going to have a severe thunderstorm watch coming out too, so getting very active for us here. But yeah, you get rain training over these same areas. Flash flooding is always possible in low-lying, poor drainage areas. You get those streets out there. Hail core just to the east of you in Gatesville. Possibility of up to golf ball size hail, and I do believe once that thunderstorm watch is officially out and shows up on our system here, Andy, we can show that for everybody and see exactly who all is included in that. It's going to go until, looks like 9 p.m.
Yeah, there it is. You were telling me about it. It was not coming in on my phone just yet, but yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. It takes some time. It looks like there's the watch coming out of the San Antonio-Austin area, has the watch out for Williamson County and what is that, Burnett County down there?
Yeah, Burnett and probably Llano as well.
So we'll get that up, and that's going to go until 9 p.m. And let me see. Sometimes it takes a minute. They'll put the wording out, and then they'll send out another wave, which actually shows up in our actual system that we're able to show people on air here.
I believe we have some weather video from Woodway. Yeah, there you go. Woodway Hewitt area, I believe. Very heavy rain. and a bit of hail showing up as well. Take a look at the weather camera in downtown Temple, where the rain is just now beginning. The winds very likely will start picking up in Temple and Belton as well pretty rapidly. We look for winds to pick up dramatically. 15 to 20 will be an easy bet. Close to 30 is not going to be out of the realm of possibility, and likely going to see even stronger winds before the afternoon is over with. And these thunderstorms, these are severe thunderstorms with damaging winds and large hail, a likelihood for us this afternoon. Here's the radar, and shows you where our watches are, our warnings, excuse me, are in progress right now. And our area of rain, which had been confined to 2 cells, they still hold together here now back across Falls County. About an hour or so ago, they were up here in Bosque County and heading into McLennan County around Valley Mills, that area, just north of Lake Waco. Now the area of rain is spread all the way back over towards I-45. We're seeing the worst of it now across Falls County and over into Bell County, and curving all the way back up towards Gatesville now. Some new development there, and some broken shower activity back into Hamilton County as well. So here's how we stand. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 2:15 this afternoon for adjacent portions of Coryell County. That's Gatesville and Oglesby and South Mountain, all the way back over into northern Bell County. We have storm in progress in Moody over towards Troy. Most of the rest of Bell County very likely will be affected by this storm as it sinks further southward. So you see the outline of the warning box till 2:15 for all of Bell County. For Falls County until 2:15 as well for storms that are in progress right now, particularly from Lott to Marlin and on over toward Bremond. Wilderville is in that area, Rosebud as well. Very heavy rains continuing to come down. Strong gusty winds. Numerous reports of pocket-sized change hail across much of the area. Rotation showing up, broad rotation showing up out here in rural Falls County, close to Highway 6. Just up the road from Bremond, and we're also seeing showers and thunderstorms with some rotation just out to the west of Rosebud and west of Highway 7 there, close to the county line with Bell County. So that would be close to Buckholz in that area as well. More action stretching on down into Milam County. Yes, go ahead, Zach.
If they switch over, you can. I have the thunderstorm watch pulled up.
There you go.
If you want to look at that there.
Yeah, we have severe thunderstorm watch in effect for all the yellow shaded area. That means that the potential is there. The atmosphere is ripe for the development of dangerous weather this afternoon until 9 o'clock tonight, and that includes much of central Texas. Right now, it does not include Brownwood, San Saba, or Llano, Hillsborough, or Corsicana, but that may change before the afternoon is over with. It stretches across from Comanche County to the Interstate 35 corridor, and then east towards Mahia, Fairfield, and Centerville, and then down into the Brazos Valley as well, and includes Cameron, Georgetown, and Williamson County, and Burnett as well. And we have, and you see the outline there of a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, the difference between a watch and a warning. Watch means that the ingredients are there for the development of severe weather. Warning means it is in progress right now. Warning means seek shelter, get out of the weather, get inside, get into a substantial structure that will protect you from the potential of damaging winds and large hail and obviously lightning going on. So we have two clusters of storms that we're warning for right now. One is over Coryell and Bell County, stretches from Gatesville on down to near Salado. And then the box that we've been kind of adding to throughout the afternoon here over the last hour or so is the one that includes Marlin and down towards Franklin, that area. Here we go. Hi. Live with you this afternoon on Channel 6 and on Facebook, covering the severe weather event that's in progress for us right now on KCEN TV. Strong thunderstorm with a considerable hail signature about to make its way into Bremond. This is very close to Highway Highway 6. Get over here, you're close to Highway 77, and the storms kind of straddle 77 all the way down towards Cameron, and then kind of follow Highway 36 as well, on down towards Brenham, it looks like. Then back the other direction is where the stuff is developing and making its way towards us. Strong storms now in progress from South Mountain down towards Flat, mostly a rural area, but nonetheless, very strong storms there. Over towards Moody, Mother Neff State Park, you're in this area where we're seeing some broad rotation going on. Heavy downpours of rain in Troy. Always have flooding problems with heavy downpours of rain in Troy and other areas where there's a lot of construction going on, where we have the overpasses and underpasses. That underpass in Troy is notorious for flooding. So please, if you see water across the road, turn around, don't drown. This is not the kind of weather to be out in anyway right now. You'd probably be best off to stay indoors and away from this kind of weather conditions. Please don't think about taking the boat out and trying to do any fishing this afternoon, because this is just not the day for it. Again, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect till 9 o'clock tonight for just about the entire area, and two areas here with active weather in progress we have severe thunderstorm warnings for until 2:15 for Coryell County, Bell County, Falls County, now into Robertson County for two distinct cells here of the same mother thunderstorm, and several storms lining up, kind of training across the area from Gatesville to Moody to Troy and on down towards Rosebud as well. Those showing strong wind signature, hail signatures, and heavy downpours of rain, even getting thinking of perhaps a little bit of rotation going on with that storm close to Rosebud right now. If you see weather or see news occurring, either one, we'd love to hear from you. Roll your cameras, take your snapshots, send it to us at 254-859-5481, and we will share it with everyone. Please be sure and include your name and your location so we know where the weather was occurring. And if it's hail, it's always helpful if you have something that you can show us to compare the size. Doesn't have to be side by side, but like a barbecue pit or something. If you're shooting off the back porch, let us see what the hail looks like as it's coming down where you are. Again, to repeat, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Actually, two of them in effect right now until 2:15 for the central portions of central Texas for some very dangerous, very damaging storms. With winds in excess of 40 to 50 miles an hour, a good possibility, with some wind gusts to 60 miles an hour. Not going to surprise me before the afternoon is over with. Zach?
Yeah, they do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. They're just trying to piece together all of this, it looks like. This one's mainly going to be focused on, looks like Milam County and portions of Robertson County. Good news is, yeah, this is just for 1 inch hail. I say just, but certainly compared to what we've seen in parts of central Texas today, we'll take quarter-size hail over the reports of the golf ball size hail, and at times warnings up to baseball and tennis ball size hail. So that is for this thunderstorm that's really fired up in eastern, southeastern portions of Milam County there, east of Cameron, east of Rockdale. That cluster, there's also another hail core just to the west of Rosebud there. Hey, good news is what I'm seeing here, it looks like, at least on radar here, the hail core that prompted all of this, which seems like hours ago, back to the northwest around Bosque County and moved across McLennan and most of Falls County, over around Bremond is weakening. At the very least right now, it looks like that updraft is weakening, now getting into an environment where it's competing a little bit. Remember when it was by itself and it just had no other storms to compete with, and all the warm, muggy air and unstable air it could soak up, and it was doing that. Now it's competing a little bit. That updraft looks like it's weakening, which means when it weakens, those strong winds are going to weaken, and that means anything that is up there, whether it's a lot of small hail or maybe even a mixture of large and small hail, it's going to fall out of that thunderstorm. So we do have probably a lot of hail falling along Highway 6 there to the west of Bremond, but that is good news. That is the hail core that has been producing a lot of damage in its path. That one has weakened. There's still a hail core just to the west of there, which is to the east of Rosebud. And then to the west of Rosebud, it looks like you have a new hail core that's kind of popped up. when we talk about these hail cores, we're talking about those where it goes from the dark, deep maroon to those more pink, purple colors. That is where we're seeing those hail cores. So there is one back to the west there in northern portions of Bell County, just to the south of Troy. That hail core right now is staying to the north of downtown Temple, and then even further back towards the west. Gatesville had a hail core really pulse up right along the eastern sides of town, south of Highway 84. Not seeing the purples there, so that hail core is pulsed down a little bit, and we've still got some thunderstorms developing back along this outflow boundary here. That's what's creating all this, at least this new development back towards the west. So we'll need to watch that, as those storms will pulse up very quickly, but they're also on the back side of the outflow boundary. It's a little bit more rain-cooled air back there, and so those storms can pulse up very quickly, but they don't always, those updrafts aren't sustainable sometimes, but nonetheless, we'll likely still see thunderstorms pulsing up and down on that. So yeah, we've got some thunderstorms continuing from a line from Gatesville all the way back down to the southeast near Cameron and the Calvert area. We'll watch that cluster of storms. Still waiting back towards the west. We're seeing some cumulus clouds bubbling up back towards the west there, as we do have, again, some energy still sinking in from the north. And there is the threat we could see some more thunderstorms developing out across western counties, maybe around the Brownwood area, maybe back towards the west. That still waits to be seen, but this area still has some unstable pockets of air around it that we'll certainly need to watch. Nonetheless, we will continue to watch this cluster of thunderstorms, which by all accounts looks like it is weakening some, pushing down into the Brazos Valley, and then that line extending back towards the northwest. As far as winds go within this cluster of thunderstorms, let me pull up my radar here at home a little bit quicker. The winds not as overly concerning either. Still some gusty winds east of Temple to the west of Rosebud. Still, if there was going to be an area that possibly looked like it could have some embedded wind gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour. I'll zoom in a little bit closer here and I'll show you. Again, right now we're using Doppler net radar to show us reflectivity. It's showing us the precipitation falling from these thunderstorms. Now we're going to turn on velocity, and this is looking at the winds inside these storms. Green is moving towards the radar. The radar is just down there at the bottom of your screen towards Bartlett, and red is moving away from it. Let me put this on the last 45 minutes. Not seeing those brighter greens turning into blues, so that's good news. But definitely going to be some gusty winds embedded in this line of storms. And you can see that outflow boundary. It extends all the way back towards the west. It's that very faint line there to the north of Killeen, back towards the northwest. That alone is going to produce some gusty winds, and you'll know when that comes through your area. Looks like there were some golf ball size hail reports around Burlington. Go ahead.
We're going to take a look at that video once again up from Woodway. Matt Gebhardt of our staff submitted this. Look at the heavy downpour of rain and the hail coming down. This is what most of us can expect this afternoon. If you haven't already seen it, if you've already seen it where you are, you're probably looking at improving weather conditions for the remainder of the afternoon. But for those areas south of Waco, Temple, Killeen, on down towards the Brazos Valley, your weather is going to be going downhill real fast right now. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Milam County and portions of Robertson County, and those areas that aren't covered by the one are covered by the other one, which includes what's left of Falls County and over into Limestone County. Severe thunderstorm warnings till 2:15 for Falls County, Limestone County, and Franklin County, and then a second warning in effect for Cameron County until 2:30. If you have video or photographs, please send them to us at 254-859-5481. Lisa Naring of Marlin submitting these. Close to egg size hail, I would say there. She's holding that in her hand. And Marlin is the county seat of Falls County. They were getting hit just a couple of minutes ago with some very heavy downpours of rain. This is what it looks like right now. We have kind of a picket fence going on. This is what we call training, like box cars in a train rolling down the tracks here. You have one on top of the other, and this is what leads to our flooding problem. You get very heavy rains on grounds that are already saturated. Seeing a little bit of rotation as well. And we're also talking about some hail in this. Now, take a look at a three-dimensional slice of the storm, if you will. And here's where we're seeing some rotation possible here in that storm out to the west of Rosebud, close to the Brazos River. As you come back towards the east, very likely we'll see some hail cores in these storms as well. This is going back over towards the east into almost into Limestone County there, as that very dangerous storm. This is the one we're talking about right here, right on the county line, trucking on down towards the south. In Marlin, Lisa, once again, sending us some more video. Look at this, just amazing. 254-859-5481 is the number to submit your pictures and your video. We certainly want to share them with everyone. Let us know where you shot it, and give us your name so we can recognize you and give you your moment. If you have not downloaded the 6 News app, now is the time to do it so you can stay ahead of the storms as we help you track this stuff making its way through Central Texas this afternoon. If you're just now tuning in, coming in from seeing the very dark skies, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect till 9 o'clock for just about all of Central Texas. And warning right now for storms that are in progress across Falls County over into Bell County, and then kind of curving on back up towards Gatesville. And as you can see, this boomerang shaped looking storm system is moving down towards the southeast, down into the Brazos Valley. So very likely we will be seeing deteriorating weather conditions for the Bryan College Station area as well. Already seeing the rain into Hearn and Calvert there. And again, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect till 2:15 for these storms in Falls County, making their way over into Robertson County. Falls County going to be looking a little bit better here very shortly as those storms are coming to an end. Still considerable cloud shield with it. And then more storms coming down out of Coryell County again into Bell County. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 2:15 for that one as well. What we're talking about, the dangers being strong winds. Winds to 40 miles an hour, not going to be surprising. Could see some nickel-sized hail in these storms as well. So we're looking at possible structural damage. Tree limbs being broken by the strong winds. Grant Smith of Gatesville sending us some video here. Hail, look at that, man. And it just keeps on. All across Central Texas right now we're getting reports, particularly Gatesville to down into Temple and then on over towards Marlin. Quite a few reports coming in. We had reports earlier in and around Valley Mills to Lake Waco and to Waco itself and to Robinson and Rosenthal in that area. It's going to be a very unstable afternoon for us. We have a trough of low pressure that stretches from west to east. And a trough of low pressure, what that is just, it's not a cell of low pressure, it's more of an elongated area of low pressure. And low pressure means unstable atmosphere basically for us. And it stretches from out west right through our area back over towards the east. Little impulses traveling along that in the upper levels are going to spark off showers, and thunderstorms are going to have outflow boundaries from these storms. So we're looking at the potential being there for the afternoon and into the evening hours, at least until the sun goes down. I think by sundown, our atmosphere should start stabilizing a bit, and we'll be looking at improving weather conditions across the area. Here's what it looks like from our Skycam in downtown Temple right now. Well, we're going to load it up. There it is. This is looking out towards the southwest, and very dark clouds still lingering across Central Texas at this hour. A lot of rain on our camera lens. Sorry, I'll have to get up there and squeegee that out. Here's the radar. Once again, we're sweeping around here, picking it up from both the north sides and the south and east and the west sides of it with our Doppler net, so we get a good picture of what's going on in the atmosphere. Storms in progress now, below severe limits up south of Hamilton on down towards Evan, on over towards Hyco, then back into Gatesville, Jonesboro, then to Gatesville on South Mountain Way, then over towards Moody, down towards Troy, Bruceville, Eddy, and then over into Temple, scattered on back over through Bell Falls, Enaville, to Rosebud, and we'll start picking up in intensity as you get close to the Brazos River and around Bremont and Calvert as well, experiencing some very heavy rains right now and strong gusty winds. Video coming into us from Waco. Look at the tree damage. Could be wind damage, maybe even a lightning strike on that one, but certainly weather-related damage going on there. If you have video, you have photographs, please send it to us. There's the number you see at the bottom of the screen, 254-859-5481, and we'll show it on the air. We'll probably put it all together in a nice package tonight for the 5 and 6 o'clock news as well, and show it to everyone. But right now, we're staying with this stuff because it is a dangerous situation. Again, we have warnings in effect. Now, these warnings mean that the bad weather is in progress. Okay? We have severe thunderstorm warning till 2:15 for Coryell County. This is Gatesville, back over into Bell County. Bell County means Lake Belton and Temple and Belton. Although Belton's not getting it yet, Salato's not getting it yet, you're included in the warning area for the potential before it's all over with. All this stuff has to do is just start sinking southward, and we're getting the rest of Bell County covered by it. Also looking at storms in progress in Milam County down towards Cameron, and then curling on back over into Robertson County around Bremont. Very heavy rains. We've seen many reports of hail in this area with strong winds coming through in Bremont and Reagan, on down towards Calvert, even getting some very heavy rains at Franklin, Hilltop Lakes as well, getting some very heavy rain as well, with very strong gusty winds showing up in this stuff as well. Let me go over here and take a look at the chat room and see what news is coming in from the Weather Service. Let's see, we're getting winds of 60 mile an hour estimated in Vermont here in the last 20 minutes. Tree limbs down. Again, 60 mile an hour winds reported by a trained weather watcher. So the weather is sagging south away from Temple. It's kind of made its way through Waco already. We anticipate more developing for Temple, Belton, and northern Bell County over the next half hour to 45 minutes, and then so much that's already in progress between Temple and almost all the way over to Centerville right now. Zach, what all are you seeing that I'm missing here?
Oh, no, just the same. I mean, again, we continue to watch the showers and thunderstorms sinking south. Actually, just saw the National Weather Service out there around San Angelo. They have the Brown County, San Saba County, I believe, is part of their market. Yeah. They actually just added a severe thunderstorm watch out there. So you might start thinking, okay, well, why are they issuing a thunderstorm watch out towards the west? There's not even a lot going on because the actual orientation of this extends back towards the northwest, and there's a boundary back there. Andy's talked about that. And there's also a disturbance dropping out of the north. There's still a lot of untapped, unstable air. Again, these couple of thunderstorms have really just affected parts of Bosque, McLennan Falls, down towards the Brazos Valley. So there's a lot of untouched, untapped atmosphere out there. And again, we still have this disturbance, this energy, this lift aloft that is still expected to move through. And so we could see the reigniting of some showers and thunderstorms. So the National Weather Service has been seeing that, and they are expecting some thunderstorms to develop west of central Texas and maybe start tracking off towards the east-southeast, and those could move in from the west anytime here over the next few hours. Nothing showing up on radar right now, but again, it just shows you that they are too expecting showers and thunderstorms to develop west of us. So we'll continue to watch these thunderstorms sink south, and that's why we have that thunderstorm watch out for a good portion of the area, because we could still see some more thunderstorms back towards the west. And the thunderstorm watch does go until 9 p.m. So we certainly have to stay on guard and just continue to watch, make sure, see what's going on here, and make sure thunderstorms don't move back in later on, but they'll certainly have the possibility of doing that. Again, you can see where that little sliver of that thunderstorm watch out to the west of us is, as they're expecting maybe some more thunderstorms to try to develop out there and then track east-southeast quickly along that boundary. We'll watch that, trying to get some cumulus clouds really starting to bubble up there north of San Angelo around Interstate 20. So we'll watch those thunderstorms. If those cumulus clouds continue to bubble up, we may see some thunderstorms develop and again try to track in from the west. Currently what we have going on across central Texas though, again a cluster now, so to speak, of some severe storms. The two big updrafts in hail cores worth noting. The one that bubbled up there around Rosebud, you see how quickly it kind of bubbled up. I'll slow it down here a little bit. Intensified. We saw those brighter purples showing up there, and then maybe has dropped a lot of hail between Rosebud and Cameron. That hail core is just north of Cameron now, crossing Highway 190. that storm's going to continue to go southeast. Okay, so we do have some more tree damage from the Robertson area, and I believe we said Janet. Yeah, the Robertson area from Jennifer Hofer. I believe I said that. I hope I said that right. Forgive me if I did. Okay, so we got that video going up, or those pictures, and yeah, we've had our fair share of tree damage here in parts of central Texas and the large hail. Yeah, look at that. Wow, that was incredible. Just really snapped there at the base. So probably some straight line wind damage coming through the Robertson area. So these storms, we can look in there now and see where the strongest winds would likely be. And let me pull that up on velocity here. Again, we're using DopplerNet now to look at the winds inside these thunderstorms. You can see here over the last hour, winds not too concerning. Again, we want to see more of those lighter greens and those blues showing up. You see that a little bit there west of Rosebud, but now as the winds are actually getting closer to the radar site just southeast of Bartlett there, you see that little donut hole? That's the radar site. So everything in green is moving towards the radar, and then everything in red is kind of just moving away from the radar. The radar site, with it being this close, we would have a really great idea of what winds are low to the ground or probably likely reaching the surface, and the fact that we're not seeing anything too strong is a good indicator. But there are still some strong wind gusts moving through this area right now. So we'll continue to watch some gusty winds through the southeastern Bell County area back towards Milam County. We're looking at the winds there inside the radar. Let's go back to DopplerNet here. Again, the two hail cores worth watching. The one there just to the north of Cameron, and another one getting ready to exit our viewing area just south of Highway 79, southeast of Hearn there. These two hail cores that you see on your screen, these are capable of producing up to golf ball size hail. So that's it. We have seen the thunderstorms that were really fired up. We've seen them weaken, and they're continuing to press off towards the southeast, but we do still have a thunderstorm watch that goes until 9 p.m. So we do have the possibility to see more thunderstorms redevelop back towards the west. Did we just lose our severe thunderstorm warning? Was set to expire at 2:30, or actually I had it turned off there. Okay, there we go. Looks like we still have this severe thunderstorm warnings going for portions of Bell County, Coryell, Falls, Milam, and Robertson counties there. So we'll see if they carry on with these warnings. Certainly the ones there in Milam, Robertson County are worth keeping those warnings going. But I wouldn't be shocked if they go ahead and cancel the thunderstorms there or expire the ones in Bell County and Coryell County.
We take a look at the Max 1 here and the weather camera out of downtown Temple, and we're seeing some blue sky, so that kind of fortifies what Zach was talking about. It's an improving weather picture out to the west, so very likely we will start seeing some of these areas cleared from the severe weather threat for the short term. We are still under a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock tonight for redevelopment and new development across the area. The storms we've been tracking have been a very isolated little batch. They've brewed up across Bosque County and over into brewing up across Bosque County over into Coryell County, and then drifting into McLennan County, where we're seeing showers and thunderstorms still lingering, but certainly moving on further south into Falls County, and now drifting into Cameron and on over towards Calvert and Franklin. So you're talking about Milam County and Robertson County there as well, catching the brunt of it right now. The heaviest rains, still considerable lightning going on. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for the storms you see right along the Bell Coryell County line out to the west of Moody and close to Mother Neff Park there. And we've got another severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 2:15 for storms that are in progress across our southern counties, Milam County on over into Robertson County for those storms there. I showed you the 3D slice of the pie of those storms down there near Bremond and Cameron in that area. And remember how they were spiking so far up into the atmosphere to 40,000, 50,000 feet? Well, they have considerably weakened They've dropped down to about 20,000 feet in height right now. The taller they are, there's more velocity for that hail to develop, because that's an up and down shaft inside the storm that produces that hail. When they're shorter like that, then we don't have nearly the threat from that, but still some very decent, very productive rainmakers going on in Milam County and over into Robertson County. Again, we talked about this a little bit earlier, this being a training effect with some of these storms, the ones that stretch from Hamilton to Gatesville down to near Temple and then into Cameron. These are storms that are producing perhaps an inch of rain each one as they come across. So you get the first one produces an inch of rain, the second one produces another inch of rain, third one produces close to an inch of rain as well. So you start seeing some very astronomical accumulations of rain there. That leads to flooding problems, not only urban flooding where the street drainage systems can't handle it very rapidly, but you get runoff into the bar ditches and then into the creeks, and you start seeing some of our smaller water bodies beginning to overflow. And a lot of times that water comes across the road. You don't know how deep it is. I know you're tempted to go ahead and drive through it. You can make it because you're driving a big four-wheel or you've got an all-terrain vehicle. It doesn't take much to pick up that vehicle and wash it off the road. So please don't gamble. Don't take that chance. Just wait for the water to go down. And best of all, just stay home during this severe weather event right now. We continue to watch this though. Look at this stuff. It's still producing some rather strong gusty winds. This is the velocity that Zach was talking about earlier. We can see if there's any rotation going on when we get the cold colors and the warm colors side by side. What you see here is the outflow boundary just roaring on down through Cameron. So we're talking about winds of brief winds of 40, 50 miles an hour right there as you head down towards that Highway 77 and 36 Y there south of the Little River, and it is a rotten afternoon. Hail, yeah, we had some very large hail south of Waco back over towards Mart and Trading House Reservoir to near Perry Auto and Riesel there. Looks like it went all the way through Marlin, the large hail, and continues on down towards Reagan and almost to Bremont there. We're seeing hail echoes showing up. Look from the Bob Mills Furniture Skylab weather camera. Now this is on the south side of Waco, and this is not the look you normally see that I display, but you can still see the interstate and the big shopping complex out here on the extreme left-hand side of your screen. Moderate to heavy rain. This is looking back in the direction of Gatesville. More of it's coming. You see the trees really blowing around here with this action going on in central Texas. So again, we still have severe thunderstorm warning in effect for areas to the south of Waco Temple right now, heading on down towards Cameron and the Bryan College Station area. Put that radar into motion. There's our watch boxes. And again, and it's moving on out of the Waco Temple Colleen area through Falls County down into the Brazos Valley, and our weather is stabilizing for the most part for the Waco area and the Temple area. We'll continue to watch this stuff throughout the afternoon and the evening, but for now I think we will return you to your regular Channel 6 programming, but we'll continue to watch this on Facebook, so please join us if you haven't pulled up KCEN TV on your Facebook. We'll continue to watch that stuff there for now. But we'll see you back here with more on this at 5 and 6 o'clock, and as conditions warrant on Channel 6. We'll keep you ahead of the storm. All right, thank you, sir. Well, we're still taking your videos and your still photographs. If you'd like to submit them, man, we would love to get them. You can send that to 254-859-5481, and we will use it just as the opportunity presents itself. Certainly we'll show it during the 5 and 6 o'clock newscast. Thank you to everyone who has submitted video. So much hail, heavy downpours of rain, and still have that threat of wind damage with these storms as well. across our area. So please, the weather has stabilized a little bit, but we're still under the threat of severe weather for the remainder of the afternoon and the early evening hours. Again, we think this is probably going to wrap up probably by, certainly by 9 o'clock, perhaps a little bit earlier than that for our area. If bad weather has not hit where you are, what we are talking about is very strong winds, perhaps winds in excess of 40 to 50 miles an hour, possibly even higher than that. Let's see.
You can, I'm just going to leave radar going on Facebook,
Okay.
that you can do your show. Get
All
ready.
right. Thank you. We're going to leave the radar up on Facebook here, so you can monitor and see what's going on as the situation is improved for our metro areas, the Waco, Temple, Killeen area. It's still raining, and we still got rather gusty winds across Bell County, so please be extremely careful if you're going to go out in this kind of weather. And if you see weather happening and you want to share it with us, we would certainly love to have your contribution. Once again, that phone number is 254-859-5481, and you can send your video to us, and we will be glad to get it. For the time being, I'm just going to leave the radar up here, and you can check that and see what's going on. And as conditions warrant, we'll jump back in here and bring you up to date. But for the time being, I'm going to turn my microphone off and get to work putting together the weather forecast for the 5 and 6 o'clock news tonight. And we will talk to you shortly.